I know I got a bit ahead of myself here, but I wasn't able to find the memory for my camera, and I found it, and I decided to start the project from here on, given the fact that I didn't get too deep into the project. Today we have a 2002 Nissan Pathfinder. Problem with this guy is a little history on this guy. Oil leaks for this bank right here. Now, I've had several issues with this particular vehicle. I've done a bit amount of maintenance into this car, and it looks like it's had quite a significant amount of oil leak for some time, and it started to ruin some things in this car. Things that I have seen that caused this issue, or results from this, is the alternator has gone bad 2 times in 5 months. May seem a bit too excessive. And as you can see down here, you see how on this bank you have oil cooked on this whole side. Now, I wanted to do a video a while ago where one of the coils went bad, and as you know, the coils for this car, Nissans in general, they are quite expensive. Now, the trick behind this is, and I have to say that I saw this on a video on YouTube, one of the channels that I'm subscribed. Can't think of the name right now, but hats off to you for going over this. And if you decide to go with an aftermarket coil, you may actually get a coil check engine light again for the same bank, for the same coil on the same bank. And this guy right here, they call this the coil condenser, and it's wrapped in tape. And I went to Nissan and I ordered it. The trick behind changing the coils is getting one of these guys, and if it doesn't come up and it comes on again, the check engine light, of course, this is the guy to go for. If I'm not mistaken, some cars actually calls for 2, 1 for each bank. I can't recall on this bank right here, but it's not to worry about too much about it right now. So this is a 3-part intake plenum, if I'm not mistaken. And so far I have gone over and taken out the bolts to this bracket. The connector is back here. A vacuum hose that goes back there. I'm putting the bolts back together. Well, I did. I'm actually going to put this together so it doesn't dance around the plenum. My goal here is to lift this unit as one, including the throttle body. Why? As you may already know, they have a gasket, and I don't want to break it. Now, this is a budget repair for a neighbor of mine who needs a repair big time on this car, and I did tell her about maintaining this vehicle. If this is not maintained, this oil leak, worse things can happen. Alright, so to minimize the amount of bolts, screws, and nuts that you might actually use for this vehicle, this is so far what I have taken out. 4 nuts, 4 bolts, the 3 little tiny bolts go on the side. I do have the torque specs for this guy, and let me see if I can show you guys. And as you can see, this plenum is ready to be removed. So, and again, sorry about the glare, I'll fix this soon. 1, 2 connectors here for the throttle. This guy is for this guy right here. There's 2 bolts for this guy right here. This is for the plenum cover. Just set this aside. Goes without saying, take the battery terminal out, whichever one you prefer. I usually like to go with the negative one. And I believe at the bottom of the plenum I do have a connector. Let me see if I can show you. Do I have? I do. I'm going to turn off this light to avoid glares. This guy right here under the boot has a connector on the other side. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like it's a blue one. Before I had to take a break from this job because I had to grab some food. That connector was stiff, but it was hard. I could not take it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and proceed with that. Vacuum hoses. Here we go. Two. These connectors, you may need a flat screwdriver and pinch and slide. Pinch and slide. The order, if I'm not mistaken, is green and blue. You are going to need to remove this bracket when you get to the second part of this plenum, and I'll take you along with that. Other than that, I am going to spend some time taking that connector out, that boot out, and I'll take it with me. Just in case, in your case, it doesn't want to come out, you may actually want to take the boot from here and the intake box, take it out. This is for the mass airflow, vacuum hose, and we're ready to go to the next step. Alright guys, and as you can see, it is out. Something is holding it, and harness it out. Alright, so this is holding it. Okay, good. Alright, so definitely we need to remove, and just in case I didn't cover it, this is a coolant passage to keep that throttle body from getting too hot. Alright, and I'm gonna have to take this air box out. I didn't want to, but it looks like I'm headed in that direction anyways, and it looks like we have more bolts in there for the bottom piece. Alright, this is definitely RTV. Alright, and again guys, just like any runner out there, do not let anything fall in there. I'm just examining how can I take out without forcing too much the components, and it looks like everything is just being held by this boot right here. Alright, had to cut you off for a moment because I didn't want to film too much and not being productive. So basically the first part of the plenum is out. Bolt, actually nut, and bolt. I believe the nuts go in the corners and the rest are just run down bolts. So this plenum can actually come out on its own, and the gasket may actually stay there. I don't want to bother it. I'm gonna set this down somewhere. Okay, now we have part 2 of the middle plenum, if we can call it. And again, all these bolts are 12. They're not tight that hard. I believe the book calls for 13 or 16 foot-pounds. I'll go over that when I put it all together, make sure that when you're putting everything together, the mating surfaces are clean as they can be. Long bolt, it looks like they have some Loctite, which is okay. I'll leave that there. We may actually have to take this out of here. Let me, down here, you're gonna find, yes, a nut. And it's pretty much buried in there. Make sure you have a magnet. Make sure it doesn't go down there and you lose it, and then have other problems. This is actually fairly long. I can't see because of the light. My apologies. And stay organized. From this side, of course, it's going to be for my upper plenum. We have 1, 2, 3. You're gonna have to feel for the stud right here if you want to get a direction where it is. That's 4. Yes, they do sound like they are cracking or snapping. Thankfully, that's not the case. Alright. It did not come off. And this guy slides, doesn't screw all the way in. Number 2. Alright, so this technically should be able to come up. You may find a bit of resistance there because of the possibly it's going to have some RTV in there. This bracket right here may actually be holding you. These are 10. It's loose. As you can see, just moved around. And I'm just gonna lift it up with the bolts in. Set it at a safe place. So far, we're doing good progress here. So far, this whole car just looks intimidating, but not bad at all. There's 2. Do we have any harnesses here? No, we do not. Alright, we took this out earlier. Alright. So we have the shutter valve here. It has it's got a vacuum line holding it all together. Let me see if I can break it loose. And just to let you know, guys, if you're coming into this type of job with anything, and again, if you're watching different type of repairs that I do, you're gonna see that in the Mazda. Depending on your vehicle, of course, where you live and the age, you know, do take care of these hoses. So far, I can say that I am fortunate enough to say that I don't have any crusty hoses here. Can't really say that. But for this type of job, I will do a pre-inspection, look at hoses, how are they, and what to do just in case. Now, this shutter valve right here is just frozen in there. And I'm actually surprised that I got this far without any difficulty, because this car has 239,000 miles. Quite a lot. So let me pause you guys here. Let me work with this shutter valve and vacuum hose, and I'll be back with you. Give me a bit of a fight, this shutter valve and this vacuum hose. I'm going to show you exactly what I went through here. This hose right here gave me a hard time. It actually goes here. So this is actually part 2 of the plenum, and we just basically got to the meats and potatoes here, and we're leaking pretty bad here. Bad. Like really bad. I'm gonna take some pictures of this intake and the valve covers. I'm gonna start taking everything out. I will take you along with me, yes. I'm just gonna take some pictures so I can show the owner of what I found in here, since you really can't see much of what's down here when everything is put together. Make sure that you're doing this with plenty of supplies. The hoses are actually stuck pretty well in there. Make sure that you have pliers, deep sockets, extensions, 3/8 ratchets, 1/4-inch ratchets for the small bolts, and just again be patient. Like I said before, this is not as bad as I thought. It looks like somebody was already here, since this is snapped. But other than that, let me put this guy away, put a rag on the intake, and keep taking things apart. Let's take these guys out. Alright, not so bad. Again, these are just squeeze and pull. Alright, this is just glue. We're gonna clean this up pretty well. I believe these are 10. Let's go into my tool guy here. Yep, there are 10. These are 10s, which is awesome. Not so bad. This is the one that I had replaced for her a while ago, which made me buy this coil condenser. Now, this car will actually make you buy unique coils due to spacing. And as you can see, this one sticks out. These are flat. Not bad. I don't know if these are original, but I'm gonna set this aside. I don't want to put it in a magnet just in case because of the coil. Oh, good Lord. That's 2. If I'm not mistaken, that's the PCV valve. Let me cover these runners here. As a matter of fact, let me get a different towel because this one is too big and I actually wipe my hands in there. So let me get a clean towel. Okay, so all these guys are basically out, the coils, and it boils down to removing the covers. 1, 2, 3, 4 down here under this PCV tube, and this is crusty, very hard, brittle. 4, 5, and then the rest are, I believe, down there. I'll let you know there's something back here. Yep, there is. This is something that fell. I think I know where it belongs. And let's follow this PCV. Okay, not bad. All right. And again, today I'm going with a Felpro gasket set. If you can get to the Nissan one, by all means do. Never had an issue with Velcro. I actually like Velcro a lot. I used them all my life. This gasket kit that I purchased did not come with the grommet set. This one doesn't look so bad, but if it does come with a new grommet set, which I do not know if they make it for this car, go for it. And these are not too tight at all. Not too tight at all. This is a number 10 to let you know. Now that one, actually, let me take this grommet out. It doesn't want to come out. Okay, no, it does. And again, guys, just when you are here on your tray or wherever you're setting up your bolts, just be organized. This, actually, if I'm not mistaken, goes with this guy right here. Yep. So save it. We can get to that one, so we're gonna have to improvise. Pliers. Now this hose right here broke on me when I was taking the other plenum out. So yes, I'll be replacing that hose as well. Hopefully I don't get into any surprises. I'm gonna do a small prying here, and it's actually working. Wiggle it out, and this guy's out. This is where it's torn, and yes, this can be replaced. This is of course the inlet, the hose. I'll be going to the store to replace it. I don't want to cause a vacuum leak or anything. Just make sure you also add like a step stool in your list of tools that you need. I'm 5'7". I'm not the world's greatest or, well, tallest guy, but after a while you're gonna start feeling in your back. So we have 3 bolts out. This is actually a tape. And let's see if we can take the PCB out. This is actually stone hard, and I can see where it's cracked. Yep, we're getting a new PCB. We definitely are. Well, if they have it in the store. It's actually late, and hopefully I can make it to the store tomorrow or whenever they're open. Just checking here the injectors and how much debris is in there. I'm gonna put everything together, cover the runners. When I put the first part here, I'm try to blow that out. I try to take as many bolts as possible. Okay, for this guy right here, which I did not see, you may need a wrench, which I know I have here somewhere. And again, guys, I'm all over the place. I'm a little tired. I worked all week, and I just keep getting cars and no rest. So where's my wrench? It's my 12. And yes, I should be more organized, and I am pretty much organized in most cases, but like I said, I really haven't had the chance to get myself together, so my apologies in advance. Alright, and I thought I did, but apparently I do not, and apparently I do. Take that back. Alright, Alright. You may actually need a wobble. Okay. But this works just fine. Or a short socket with a tiny extension. So we have a 10 here. I don't have a converter, unfortunately. I have to get the skinny extension in the back. 1/4 inch. Injectors look pretty dirty in the outside, like a lot of sand. Okay. And there goes my phone. Hopefully it's not another car. Not that I hate work, but it's been a heavy week. And to top things off, tomorrow is Mother's Day. Alright, I'm gonna have to take a few of these harnesses out because I think I need to take more stuff out of the way. And plus this lamp is really burning me. I'm gonna pause the video here, guys. I'm gonna take a few of these harnesses out of the way. I'll take you along with what I snapped off from the harness, the clip-ons, and give you an update. I'll be right back. Alright, hopefully guys you can see I am over here on this side of the intake. The valve cover. I have 1, 2. There's one down here that I took out. I don't know if you can see it. It's right behind that connector. And then the last one, as you can see, hopefully you can see, it's cooked with oil. So we're leaking here like there's no tomorrow. Alright, so try to have a magnet here, 2 extensions, as you can see how I have it here. Magnet and fish out. Now if the grommet does not come out, don't bother it. You're gonna hopefully get it out, or hopefully stay still when you pull the cover out. Now there is a lot of crap in the way still. A lot. I still have this, if I'm not mistaken they call this in the book V, I know it's a solenoid. If I'm not mistaken, it actually reads the timing chain in front of this engine. So let's see if we can actually attack this guy. Good. Give it some ratchet action here. And again, like I said guys, these are not tight at all. Not at all. I don't know if this is supposed to be like this. I'll be cleaning this thoroughly and tighten it to torque spec. So, okay. And again, be careful not to slide it out. Grab it. And yes, we're missing something. Yep, the other half stayed in there. And again, all these bolts are the same size so far. So we have this guy right here I took out already, and so far we have the last one. This hose is flexible. Good. Okay. Alright, looks like I didn't take it out all the way. Alright, it's definitely out of its place. Alright. If you happen to be on my situation, which I don't think you will, I hope you don't get to my situation, and my hands won't reach, and the bolt is actually stubborn and staying in there. That's why it's good to have pliers. It's behaving like I never took it out. Like I still have some threads in there. It's interesting. Okay. That one I felt it skip. Which is an indication that it's out. Alright, so I'm gonna force it too much. And I win. Alright, so basically, this is the only one I couldn't take out because of this solenoid right there, and it's because of that bolt that I can't take out. Because of this gas regulator right there. And other than that, I am ready to pull this guy out. Ready. But let me work a little bit on this guy right here. So far I took this bolt out, it's all the way out. This one right here, but it has a third bolt right there. And the gas regulator has a bolt that goes down that bracket. But this hose is flexible, but this one is a little stiff. And I know this is a high pressure line for the gas that I do not want to force and snap, causing a gas leak in there. So let me work on this. If I get some tips, definitely I will share it with you guys. Alright guys, I actually had no choice but to bend that line back, and I was able to do it. It wasn't so hard, but keep in mind, and I know this doesn't go here, but I believe it's the same bolt that I took out. Just keep in mind, I'm gonna leave this right here on top of the battery, same bolt anyways, that try not to let a lot of debris fall in there. And I just wish, but this rail is actually welded in place, and I'm not gonna take it out. Alright, why am I taking this out? There's actually two valve covers that bolts that I discovered that I didn't show you. And again, my apologies, I just saw these now because they're cooked with oil. This guy right here, make sure nothing falls into it. This is a very, very long bolt. Longer than usual. Just keep that in mind, guys. Very long bolt. It has a washer. It's part of the valve cover. I'm going to set it aside. That's out. And so far, if I'm not mistaken, we have this guy right here. Hopefully we can get it with a short 10. Which, by the way, fell somewhere down in there. I'll actually recover it when I take the valve cover out. Hopefully. I just simply can't see it. I know it fell down there somewhere. Oh well. To be found at a different time. Okay, yeah, you're welded in there. Alright, no more surprises here. Ah, I see. Alright, so that wire is not going to come out from that solenoid because it's actually welded in here. Well, actually, it slides in there. So you can take that out. Make sure you do not damage it. I had once a Maxima that had this solenoid defective, and these are over $100 each, and you have one for each bank. There's actually another valve cover bolt down there. Unreal. And try not to break this gasket. I'm gonna set it aside here. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 bolts exposed all over. It looks like I'm never gonna finish this job, but okay, so definitely this thing is not optional. It's a must. You must take it out. Okay. Another one. And another one. That's already 2. This one has 3, so I'm going to set these guys together. Ouch. We have this guy right here. And hopefully, and I hope, it's the last one. I seriously believe this valve cover has way too many bolts. Way too many. And let's see what else I can come up with to take that bolt out. Alright. Valve cover is popped out. Something fell, of course. No video can go out to YouTube without without something falling on the ground. And I doubt that I have anything in there holding the valve cover. But just to be sure, just wiggle it, see what's holding you back, and play with it. This one, if I'm not mistaken, I bent it back and I need it now forward. So I'm gonna push this back. And as you can see, it's inevitable to have whatever junk on the valve cover fall in there, so try to keep it at minimal. I will actually be cleaning it with some degreaser, brake cleaner, you know the drill. And here comes our price. Piece of cake. Not bad. This valve cover is I have no words for it. So the valve cover, you know, gasket itself, it's just flat. Trust me, very bad. So let's go ahead and start working on this.